The Angels are coming off a 4-5 road trip, and while that may not sound good, they did pick up 2 of 3 from the Oakland Athletics. They enjoyed the off day yesterday here at home, and tonight they kick off a long homestand. It's the division rival Texas Rangers in town for the first of 3. The Angels are looking up at the Rangers. They are in third place, 5.5 back in the West, and currently 3.5 back in the second wild card, and that's where Texas is currently residing. As we welcome you inside the Big A and back to Angels baseball here on Fox Sports West, along with Mark Gubiza. I'm Victor Rojas, and as just mentioned that the Angels taking 2 of 3 from the Oakland Athletics. The one thing you can't take away, especially from Wednesday afternoon's game, is that the offense starting to swing the bat a little bit better. You take that because it was Sonny Gray on the mound, who has had tremendous success against the Angels.
And you need some offense, especially when you're playing this Ranger club. Take a look at our lows. Never stop improving. What they did in those last 2 games against a very good pitching staff, with you mentioned Sonny Gray. 15 runs scored in those 2 games, 23 hits, batting average over 300, also hit 2 home runs. When you think about what they've done prior to that, excellent approaches, used the entire field against some pretty good arms up there in Oakland.
Garrett Richards, of course, is on the mound. The Angels are 8-4 currently against Texas, and the last time that the Texas Rangers were here in town, they took 2 of 3 from the Halos. But that being said, the Angels did get it going against Texas back in July.
Well, they did, and Albert Pujols certainly has been swinging the bat very well himself. Take a look at our AT&T Uverse rewind. What he did is in the bat in Oakland. Gets a pitch downstairs. He went through that baseball extremely well. Got the barrel of the bat on the baseball. Line drive over to 362 sign. Home run number 555 in his career, tying Manny Ramirez on 14th in the all-time list. And so far this season, he's already passed 6 players that all of them are Hall of Famers, from Ted Williams, Frank Thomas, Willie McCovey, Jimmy Fox, Mickey Mantle, and Michael Jack Schmidt. He's passed this season alone.
Let's see if the offense can keep it going against Martin Perez, as we're just about ready for baseball here at the Big A. Sit back, relax, lineups and first pitch when we return. Angels baseball is brought to you by CarMax. Start the search for your next car at CarMax. CarMax, start here. By Jack in the Box. For a limited time, try the new Portobello Mushroom Buttery Jack with melted garlic herb butter. By Foster Farms Fresh and Natural, locally grown and no added hormones. And by your Southern California Toyota dealers. very important homestand. Every game, as a matter of fact, here on out, the last 29 of the season, very, very important considering the corner in which the Angels painted themselves into with their month of August. But if you talk about offense and you try to get it going, I guess you can kind of go back and flash back to July when the Angels had that one good stretch of baseball where the lineup 1 through 9 was contributing, and it started with that series in Texas.
You're exactly right. That balance in the lineup, incredibly important for this team, especially when you face this Ranger club. When we saw them back in July, they weren't swinging the bats as well. As you can see, the amount of runs that they scored in that 3-game set, but they are swinging the bat well, pitching well too. So you have to put everything together to be able to beat this team in a 3-game set.
Texas has continued to play good baseball. That's why they sit in the second spot in the American League West, and in the second wild card right now is Garrett Richards getting ready to start his warm-up pitches, and we will check out Jeff Bannister's lineup for the Texas Rangers, who come into town with a 70-62 record. The speedy Delino DeShields leading things off at center field. Shin Soo-Choo in the right. Prince Fielder, the DH, Adrian Beltre at third. Mitch Moreland at first base. Elvis Andrus has turned things around for himself. He's the shortstop. Rugnet Odor at second base. A little surprised to see Joey Gallo getting the start in left field. And of course, it's Bobby Wilson, the former Angel, batting ninth, and he will do the catching as they take on Garrett Richards, making his 26th start of the season. He's 12-10 on the year with a 3.80 ERA.
He's been very good throughout his career against Texas. 8-1 with an ERA 3.11 for Richards versus the Rangers. My go-tos for Richards to be successful is getting a lot of ground ball outs. When you look at his wins, a little over 9 ground ball outs per game in which he has won. When he gets more fly balls, he doesn't pitch quite as well. Ground ball outs, a little bit less than 7 in his losses. So ground ball outs important, especially to keep an eye on that early in the game.
Defensively for the Angels behind Garrett, we've got Shane Victorino in left, Mike Trout at center, Cole Calhoun in right. The infield with David Freese and Eric Ibar on the left side, Taylor Featherston and C.J. Crone on the right, and Carlos Perez behind the plate.
And Richards' good buddy out in center field. Mike Trout has had an outstanding season defensively with 5 outfield assists, which is a career high for him with 5 this season. Has no earned his last 130 starts out in center field. That goes back to September of last season for Mike Trout.
All right, big opening game of a 3-game set. The Angels are currently 5.5 back, 3.5 in the wild card. Who's your pick to click for tonight's ball game?
I'm going with Shane Victorino. Wow. He's been there before. He's won big games. He's had pretty good numbers in his career versus Perez. So I'm looking for him to have that big game to set the tone in this first game of this 3-game set.
Oh, Garrett trying to pick up a victory. That would match his career high of 13 wins last season. He's making his 3rd start against Texas. This year he's 2-0 with a 1.84 ERA.
Who are you feeling in this series?
I hadn't really given it much thought, to be perfectly honest with you, but can I get back to you?
Yes. Call me sometime when you have no class.
When you have no class? I'm going to go, you know what? I'm going to go with Eric Ibar.
Like it.
Yeah. Delino DeShields steps up. He's ready to lead things off for Texas. 262 average, a couple of home runs, 28 runs batted in. Corner infielders playing in. The first one tonight in there for a strike. Shields, a guy you want to keep off the bases. 22 stolen bases this year. That one's just off the corner. And it's 1-1. He's a Rule 5 pick. He's been a big part of the resurgence for this Rangers team. Guy that is kind of bouncing around everywhere. Remember, Leonis Martin at the start of the season was a starting center fielder. Didn't know where to put DeShields. He kind of bounced around. He kind of earned the starting job, but Jeff Bannister's put his trust in him in that leadoff spot. 1-2, lifted foul.
Boy, Bannister's done a very good job with this club.
Yeah.
Considering where they were when we saw them in July, where they are right now. Stayed the course, trusted his team. He really revamped his bullpen. His bullpen has been very, very good.
First-year skipper, formerly the bench coach with the Pittsburgh Pirates under Clint Hurdle. Breaking ball overthrown, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. I think Bannister will certainly get some votes for manager of the year, the way they've played. Granted, unless the wheels completely fall off in September. I think right now you would have to believe it's A.J. Hinch's award to kind of lose, considering the season the Astros have had. Not taking anything away from any other manager in the American League. 2-2. Ground down the line. Off the glove of Freese. That'll trickle into the outfield. DeShields is going to keep on running. And he's over at second with a leadoff double. 17th of the year for DeShields.
And that's the thing he's been doing well, DeShields, is trying to put the ball in play right down the line. Almost an outstanding play off the glove. I don't know if Freese is going to be able to get up and throw out DeShields anyhow running down the line. A good effort for David Freese, but DeShields with his 17th double. And you have to keep an eye on him right now. If you're Garrett Richards, you look back to second. He loves to try to steal third base. 22 stolen bases on the season.
Shin-Soo Choo at the plate, the right fielder. 248 average on the year. 3 infielders on the right side. Choo pulls this one up the line. That is a fair ball. Crone, or Poole, pardon me, will take it himself.
Just trying to put the ball into that side of the infield. Advances DeShields to third base. But early in the game, you'll take outs at this point. You want to make sure you get in a good rhythm. If you're Richards, have trust in your offense that it's going to score enough runs to withstand just in case Texas does score here in the first inning.
And I misspoke when I gave you the defense saying C.J. Crone was getting to start at first. It's Albert there, Crone at DH. Just written it correctly. Here's Prince Fielder. Infield back. Break the ball for a strike. Fielder the DH, 317 on the year. 18 home runs, 73 runs batted in. Texas on the season, a 243 batting average as a team with men in scoring position. Coming off a very good month of August in which they hit 275 as a team. Fielder lays off. Wanted to appeal and did not go. 1-1. Mark Wegner, by the way, calling the balls and strikes tonight. Marty Foster at first base. Mike Winters at second. And Mike Malinsky at third base. Winters, the crew chief, at second. There's the 1-1. Another breaking pitch.
He's doing a couple sliders now. He threw his curveball. One thing about Prince Fielder, even with all that power he has, very good eye at the plate, doesn't strike out a lot. You try that cut fastball, see if you can jam him on his hands right now if you're Richards.
He's been really good in these situations this year. 342 average with men in scoring position. 2-1 downstairs. 3 balls and a strike. Leadoff double for DeShields off the glove of Freese. Choo a ground out, moving DeShields to third. And now a 3-1 count on Fielder with Beltre on deck. Check swing. That one looked like he went around. He did not, says Malinsky. So it's a walk. So runners at the corners with an out. Here's Beltre.
See if he went on this one. Had his hands well beyond the plate, bat right at the front of the plate. There's no doubt he crossed that. But you still have a double play set up now with Beltre is grounded into 14 double plays. I said the key for Richards to be successful against Texas is getting those ground balls. A perfect time to get one of those ground balls at an infielder now.
Oh, 0-1. Beltre at 272. 13 home runs, 47 runs batted in. Always dangerous hitter. Beltre 9 for 31 in his career against Garrett. 0-1 pitch. Big swing and a miss. 97.
A little bit of sink action on that fastball, which was important to get in underneath his hands.
Location is the most important thing, as you were talking about earlier, about getting those ground balls. A little more sink, more action on pitches thigh high and below.
Yeah, Garrett's fastball is so much better when it's at the knees. You would think with his power fastball upstairs you get a lot of swing and misses, but that's not the case. It flattens out on him upstairs.
Breaking pitch and a heck of a block by Perez with a man at third base, and that ball bouncing out in front of the plate. He's overthrown a couple of those breaking pitches. Took him a little while in his last start at Cleveland to kind of get that pitch working. Ended up being very effective. Got a no decision against the Indians in his last start. Gave up 3 runs on 7 hits, working 7 innings. 1-2, chopper toward third. Freeze has it. Goes to second for 1. Wheatley back to first. And got him at first is the call. I'm sure the Rangers will look at it. But a slow developing double play, helped out by the terrific arm by Taylor Featherston at second.
He needed all that arm to got him. It's what you like to see from your pitcher, knowing it was a great defensive play from Freeze to Featherston to Pujols.
Doesn't appear that they're going to challenge it. They are releasing us. It is a double play to end the inning, and the Rangers will leave a man at third. Way to the bottom of the first, Calhoun, Trout, and Pujols coming up. We're scoreless. .34 for the Halos, a game over 500. It's Cole Calhoun at right, Mike Trout at center, Albert Pujols at first, C.J. Cron at DH, Eric Ibar at short, David Freese at third, it's Shane Victorino getting the start tonight at left. Carlos Perez behind the plate, Taylor Featherston batting ninth, playing second base, and he just finished up that double play as they take on the 25-year-old left-hander, native of Venezuela, and coming off Tommy John surgery, making his 9th start. It's Martin Perez.
He's done a nice job. We saw him in the past. A very good pitcher so far this year. ERA over 5 for Perez. My go-to is patience in the strike zone. That means doesn't chase something upstairs, bring him in the middle part of the plate, and balance in the lineup. So important against him. Not just the top of the order, but also the bottom of the order.
Perez 2-3 with a 5.15 ERA. The first one is just off the plate. The Angels, as we know, have really struggled against left-handed pitching this year. Cole hitting .268 overall. The Angels as a team against lefties just .234. 1 ball, 1 strike. And it's kind of an odd thing considering the big boys in the middle of the order are right-handed. Third baseman right-handed. Figured that they would chew up lefty pitching. Just hasn't worked out that way this year. 2 balls and a strike. The Angels have played well here at home. 39-27. The end of the last home thing, an exception. That was the buzzsaw Toronto Blue Jays. 2-2.
Well, Perez with a good fastball working early on. He's around 90 to 94. Has a slider curve and a very good changeup. Very good pitch to throw for him against right-handed batters.
Ended up getting 8 starts last year before getting shut down, having to have Tommy John surgery. Check swing. That's foul tipped and hung on to by Wilson. There's out number 1, a strikeout. is the first out. We'll check out the Rangers defensively. It's Gallo, DeShields, and Chu in the outfield from left to right. Beltre, Andrews, Odor, and Moreland from third to first. And we mentioned Bobby Wilson behind the plate.
And Gallo getting that start out in left field, which is kind of a little bit surprised considering their depth they have in the outfield for the Texas Rangers. Does have one outfield assist, no errors so far. Played 13 games at third base, 10 in left field, and 1 in center field. Good power he has, though. Tremendous power.
Power hitting prospect that will rack up some strikeouts. But you're right, as far as they had acquired Will Venable from the Padres not too long ago. The Trout pulls one toward third, glove by Beltre, comes out of the glove. Low throw, dug out by the slick feeling Moreland, and there's the second out of the inning.
There's a reason why he's won a number of Gold Gloves at third base for Beltre. That ball was scolded by Trout. Is able to knock it down as he's spinning around out of the glove, but still he's thrown many throws from that knee. Still firm on the throw. Moreland, very good glove at first base also for Texas.
So 2 outs, nobody on it. Pujols at the plate. 35 home runs, 80 runs batted in for Albert. The 35th is 555th of his career. 0-2 breaking ball from Sonny Gray. Currently tied with Manny Ramirez, the all-time list. Next man up is Reggie Jackson. Ground ball over to Elvis Andrews. Quick 1-2-3 inning for Martin Perez. We'll head to the second, scoreless.
We talked about how well Richards has thrown throughout his career against the Rangers. He's been very good this season also. Back in April here at the Big A against Texas, went 7 innings, gave up 2 earned runs, and then down in Texas had even better numbers, 7 2/3 with 1 earned run. So 14 2/3 in pitch against the Rangers this year with 3 earned runs.
Top of the second with no score. Garrett giving up that leadoff double to DeShields and a walk to fielder, but got a double play ball to end the first. Moreland most of the strike. Moreland's had a nice season. 286, 18 home runs, 68 runs batted in. 334 on base percentage. And as we mentioned, very good fielder over at first base. Check swing, bouncer through the left side. Beats the shift, and it's a leadoff single.
Kind of a half swing, was full on that slider, but because of the shift being on, Freese unable to make that play. Difficult play for Freese to make.
There are the frustrating things when you see as a pitcher, you make a quality pitch, but most times the numbers say that the hitter will hit into that shift on the ground. He went against that and got a base hit.
Elvis Sanders, the shortstop, up. Takes inside. 281 hitter against Garrett Richards in his career. Guy you can hit and run with. Cole playing shallower in right field. Andrews at the plate. Not a big lead for Moreland at first. Texas will run. They've got 80 stolen bases on the year. That puts them third in the American League. Led, of course, by DeShields. Andrews has 15 bags. Venable has 2 at Texas, had 11 in the National League with the Padres. He's on the bench. Lifted out toward left field. Victorino has to go back on it. 1 out.
And coming up later in the game, we'll check out the big news from around the majors on the Carl's Jr. Sports Update. The game in St. Louis. And a youngster had a huge game in Chicago this afternoon.
Such a tease.
That's how I roll.
Unbelievable. There's Rougned Odor, the second baseman, with Moreland at first. Takes a breaking ball for a strike. We talked about Odor the last time the Rangers were in town. Opening day second baseman. Had his struggles, was sent back down to the minor leagues. Little eye opener. He came back on fire. Sitting 278 overall now. Dribbler up the first base line. He slipped out of the bag, or out of the box, I should say, and he's tagged out for the second out. Had he not slipped, that would have been an interesting play.
Yeah, because that's a play where Albert's going to have to try to make himself. Albert uses his bare hand and then put that baseball in the glove to apply the tag. Because if you tag a runner down the line when you have the baseball in your hand as compared to in your glove, he will be ruled safe. See right here, running down the line, picks it with the bare hand, then puts it in the glove, then applies the tag.
So 2 outs on a man in scoring position. Here's Joey Gallo. Gallo playing in his 27th major league game. 211 is the starting left fielder tonight. He takes upstairs. 5 home runs, 13 runs batted in. Gallo's 46 strikeouts in 90 at bats. Am I reading that correct? 46 punch outs in 90 at bats. Fouls this one back, making the second straight start. '21-year-old, the 22 in November. Supplemental first round pick in 2012. Lifts this one out towards shallow right center field. Featherston and Ibar. It's Mike Trout with the call on the catch. And the Rangers are down here in the second. That leadoff single stranded at scoring position. We're headed to the bottom of the second with no score.
1993 on this date, Jim Abbott throws a no-hitter versus the Cleveland Indians at Yankee Stadium. That lineup had Lofton, Albert Bell, Manny Ramirez, Jim Thome, Carlos Baerga. All in the lineup, no-hitter for our good friend Jim Abbott.
Carlos Baerga, the original Shetland pony. And what a dresser.
Yes.
Oh, he's an all-timer. C.J. Cron has a 1-ball, 1-strike count. Nobody can wear a denim suit quite like Carlos Baerga.
No.
So I remember that when Jim threw that no-hitter. What a great moment for everybody who ever knew Jim fans. Jim Abbott, whether he was with the Angels, with the Yankees, what a moment that was when he threw a no-hitter. Just his expression on his face.
Fans, join us for Filipino Heritage Night. That's tomorrow when the Angels take on the Rangers at 6:05. Be sure to purchase your Filipino package online and receive a Filipino Angels hat and enjoy pregame entertainment featuring Kaba Modern in the Game 1 music card. Don't ask, I don't know. To purchase your package and for more info, visit angels.com/Filipino. Tonight is German Heritage Night.
Yes.
See some of those German Heritage hats around. Not for us. No swag for us. We're not German. We didn't buy the package either. There's Eric Ibar. There's the German Heritage Night hat. Fouls that one off his leg, and it's 0-2. Four up, 4 down for Martin Perez. They're finally back at the batter's box. 0-2 count. Ground ball down the line, backhanded by Beltre. 2 outs.
Monday key for this game for the Angels to be successful. You're going to need some offense. A little Led Zeppelin today. A little rock and roll, especially what we saw down in July against this Rangers staff. Going to need that offense to be able to win this game tonight and eventually, hopefully, win this series. It started here with David Freese, who's done a nice job since coming back from the disabled list, using the entire field, which is important against Perez.
Third game back for David off the DL. 243 average. 11 home runs at 45 driven home. 2 for 4 game with a couple of runs batted in Wednesday's contest. 2 balls, 1 strike.
It's a good changeup from Perez.
He's got a good one. He's been very good against the Angels throughout his career. 4th game, 3rd start. This one down the right field line. That is a fair ball. Freese will turn and head to second. Shin-Soo Choo now up with it and fires it back in there. For a second there, it appeared as if maybe David Freese was good thinking about third base, but Choo came up with that ball cleanly.
You're already in good scoring position right there. Choo with still a very good arm. Want to take that chance. Try to go away with that pitch. Again, we talked about how David Freese, since coming back, is using entire field right down the right field line. Picking up his 18th double of the season. He's tracking it to see if it gets by Choo. Settles in at second base.
And while Martin Perez is capable of pitching inside and establishing, and he's already done that tonight to right-handed batters, he's still a guy, even though he lives in the low 90s, you probably want to think up the middle the other way,
exactly,
especially if you're a right-handed batter.
More likely,
he's just going to turn that changeup over.
He just wants to basically eventually he's going to show the fastball in, but he's going to try to get you out with a curveball or slider, especially his changeup away if you're a right-handed batter against him.
Fastball. Looked like a pretty good pitch. Misses, and it's 1 ball, no strikes. Victorino hitting .234 on the year. 2 balls, no strikes. Shane with a home run. 6 runs batted in, a couple of doubles, a couple of triples. Starting left fielder tonight. Angels getting their first base runner of the game on this 2-out double by Freese. Right down the middle. 2 balls and a strike. Perez 1-0 in his career with a 1.84 ERA against the Angels. Ground ball to short. Trying to pull that off-speed pitch. Angels leave a man in scoring position. 2 in the books. Still scoreless. Mondays, the Angels host the Dodgers in the 3-game series. It continues all week as the Astros come to town for the weekend set. So don't miss any of the fun on social media. Make sure you're following Fox Sports West and Angels Baseball on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Snapchat. And when you get bored following those, follow me and Gooby on Twitter.
Yes, exactly. When all else fails.
Scrape the bottom of the barrel.
Yes.
9-1-2 here in the third. Bobby Wilson. Delano to Shields. Shin Soo Choo. Face Garrett Richards. No strikeouts. 1 walk, 2 hits allowed. Bobby takes a little bit low.
That's another good pitch.
Yeah, Mark Wegner's not calling it for either guy.
No, he's not calling that low part of the strike zone, that's for sure.
Bobby, a 194 hitter on the season with 11 RBIs. Claimed off waivers from the Rays. 1 ball, 1 strike. Playing in his 20th game with Texas. He's at 250 with Texas. 4 doubles and 7 runs batted in. Chopper to third, backhanded by Freese. 1 down. Take a look at the Honda upcoming schedule. This is a long homestand, 9 games. Angels will have another off day next Thursday, and that's their last off day of the season. 2 more against Texas, 6:05 tomorrow, 12:35 on Sunday. Dodgers in town. Remember, Labor Day on Monday. It's a 6:05 start, and then 2 7:05 starts. And then the Astros, and then it's back out on the road for 3 cities: Seattle, Minnesota, Minneapolis, I should say, and then Houston. This is the second to last homestand. The last homestand, Seattle and Oakland. These 2 teams will meet the last 4 games of the regular season. Little flare out to right. Featherston is there. 2 outs. That could be a very big 4-game series for both teams.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. You hope it's an opportunity to be a lot of fun. That's for sure.
Yeah. Season ends this year on October the 4th.
World Series can go into the month of November.
I have a front row seat for that one. In my living room.
Oh, yeah.
Shin Suchu at the plate. Grounded out to Pujols. His first at bat. One ball, one strike. That one almost hit the grass.
And a quick break to an overthrown curveball from Garrett.
Two balls and a strike. Game of importance to both these teams. The Astros leading the Twins 8-0 in the ninth. Chu rips one out to right center field. That's a base hit, if not more. Cole will let that one go to the wall as it gets by it, and Chu will stop at second with a 2-out double. 27th double of the season for Chu, so he's in scoring position for fielder.
Fastball that was elevated. Cut fastball that stayed upstairs. We talked about how the fastball stays straighter when it's upstairs for Richards. And Chu hits that ball to right center field, his 27th double of the season.
So Garrett unable to get through the inning in 1-2-3 fashion, facing fielder whom he walked in the first. Well-deserved all-star nod for fielder. Got up to an incredible start for Texas this year. 333 in April, 377 in May. Pulls this one over to Albert. It should do it, and it does. Well, head to the bottom of the third inning. 8-9-1 coming up for the Angels. Still no score. Into our broadcast booth. Glad you could join us. A big important homestand, of course, if the Angels are going to make any push whatsoever. It starts with this three-game series here, and then it obviously carries into the Dodgers series. But as far as Garrett Richards is concerned, tonight, no strikeouts as of yet, and that's okay for him as long as he keeps the ball down.
Yeah, exactly. He's throwing that slider like this way, but his curveball, when he gets that finger up, he's throwing a couple of really good curveballs against left-handed batters. Moreland, of course, fielder. When he stays on top of that, becomes a very effective pitch.
Carlos Perez, Taylor Featherston, and Cole Calhoun for the Angels here against Martin Perez. Angels have had one base runner. That was a double by Freeze with 2 outs. This one over to third. Yeah. This pitch is at off speed, trying to pull. Get yourself in trouble. We've seen that already tonight. Beltre the third time he's fielded a ground ball. Andrews at short has had 2.
You got to try to use the other part of the field in that changeup. You try to pull it, you're going to get off the end of the bat. You're going to get a lot of ground balls. A short and third is a right-handed batter.
Featherston hitting 130 with a home run and 5 runs batted in. Shoots this one up the middle, and there's a 1-out single for Featherston.
Yeah, using that middle of the field. It was a pretty good fastball. It was 91, but down. Didn't try to pull it. Up the middle. Some pretty good swings from Featherston since coming back up from AAA. By Perez.
Yeah, you look at the numbers for Martin Perez. How well? He's got a 5.15 ERA. Aren't the Angels hitting him all over the ballpark? Thing is, he's had one bad start, really. It's the 8 runs he gave up against the Yankees in his third start. He hasn't given up more than 3 in any other start. So obviously it skews the numbers overall. Cole went around, and it's an 0-1 count. Perez coming off a start against the Orioles, in which he gave up 3 runs on 7 hits and 6 1/3. Cole 0 for 1. He struck out in the first inning. Cole's at .234 this season against left-handed pitching. Big lead for Featherston. As Cole bounces this one over to first. Moreland has it. Fires to Andrews, and out at second is the call.
So she may take a look at that one. Featherston coming off the field quickly. Oh, Mike Scioscia pushed him back there just to make sure, as Dean Lee was going to check to see indeed if he was out at second. See if that foot, no, because it popped up in the air. Yeah, he got him.
Forced him and tagged him out.
Oh, with that foot going up in the air.
So 2 outs with Calhoun at first, reaching on the fielder's choice.
Well, you would think this is a perfect guy for Trout to attack, especially a lot of pitches downstairs for Perez, whether it's his fastball or changeup. Doesn't look like he can go upstairs with a fastball against him. So everything's going to be downstairs, even his curveball and slider.
Trout 0 for 1 tonight. Hot smash over to Beltre. He's 2 for 7 in his career against Perez. Young man's got a terrific arm. Just 25 years of age. 10-6 2013 when he made 20 starts for the Rangers. Took something off. 2-1.
Pretty hittable slider there he took the middle part of the plate. And it's looking for something special to happen with Trout at the plate.
2-1. That is a base at the right. Cole will round and stop right there. Shoot. Charge that baseball very well. So the Angels have 2 on with 2 outs. Pujols coming up.
2 very good swings in this game so far for Trout. And not trying to pull the baseball, stay back on that one. Well, there's been 3 really good swings so far as hits. By Trout, by Featherston, and by Freese. Common theme, middle to going away against Perez.
Albert 0 for 1. He grounded out to Elvis Andrews to end the first inning.
A ton of room on the right side of the infield, too, for Pujols.
Off-speed first pitch.
Right-handed batters coming in this game against Perez, 341. It's 175 for lefties against him.
That's off the plate. 2-0. Calhoun at second, Trout at first. 2 outs here in the third inning. 2-0 pitch. Never takes down and in.
I wonder if indeed Perez is going to challenge Pujols. We talked about that in Oakland the other day. Pujols doesn't swing at a lot of 3-0 pitches. This may be the time to do so, especially if he gets a fastball in the middle part of the plate.
On the way. And there's ball 4. So they're loaded up now for C.J. Cron. Well, he didn't miss by much on a lot of those pitches. And here comes Mike Maddox, pitching coach. Maddox to massage the message into Martin Perez. There's 1 strikeout, now 1 walk, 3 hits allowed. Cron grounded out to Rougned Odor, leading off the second. 0 for 1.
TJ with great career numbers, 388 versus Texas with 5 home runs. That's just in 22 games.
He's not been good with the men in scoring position in 2 outs this year. A 115 hitter, but with the bases loaded, he's 4 for 7 this season. Calhoun at third, Trout at second, Pujols at first, no score. The Angels trying to get on the board here with 2 outs. This one's out towards center. That'll get down for a hit. Cole will come in to score. Here comes Trout. 2-0 Angels.
Hits keep coming for C.J. Cron versus the Rangers. You mentioned how well he's done against with the bases loaded for C.J. Cron. Goes inside with a fastball. Just enough of that barrel on the bat to get that into left center field for a big 2-run single with 2 outs and bases loaded for C.J. Cron.
I mentioned that scoring position 2-out number for him. Even with men just in scoring position in general, it's been a rough go for him this year. Just a 234 average, but man, with the bases loaded, you talk about being pretty automatic.
Still pretty pumped up about his Utes beating Michigan yesterday.
Yeah, as well he should be. Ibar steps up now with 2 outs. Ibar pulls out with foul. Somehow hits the screen and no one else. Slightly out in front of that pitch. Eric grounded out to Beltre, the second. A 2-out rally for the Angels. Trout a base at the right. Pujols a 4-pitch walk to load him up, and now Cron with a 2 RBI single, giving the Angels the early lead. This one's popped up. Odor going out, calls off Chu. Second baseman puts it away, and the Angels are done here in the third, but they strike for a couple of runs. We'll head to the fourth. 2-0 Halos.
baseball. Reason why he does that, the different type of rotation for his curveball as compared to his slider. And by design, you want to start that around belt height and then end up in the dirt, especially to get a swing and miss. Very effective pitch for Garrett against left-handed batters. Doesn't throw it a lot against right-handers. That's why he overthrew that one.
Well, they'll take them out here in the fourth inning, up 2-0. And he'll face Beltre, Moreland, and Andrews. Adrian Beltre 0 for 1. He grounded into the inning-ending double play in the first. 15th time he's rolled into a double play. And he takes that one in off the plate. .36 pitches thrown by Garrett. 22 have been strikes. Last thing you want to do with this team is putting guys on base. Got the top part of the zone, 3-1.
Be careful throwing a fastball at the very next pitch in that spot. Beltre very good on high fastballs.
Full count. Three-two. Fought that one off. Chase what would have been ball 4. Instead, it's the first down of the fourth. Angel fans, time for you to tweet us your strongest fan photo. Use hashtag WestDataStrongFan. You just might see yourself in an upcoming Angels broadcast, and it's brought to you by T-Mobile. 1 out, nobody on, and here's Mitch Moreland. Game-winning double a couple of nights ago in San Diego in extra innings. Moreland had a single in the second. Beat the shift on an excuse me swing.
That's another good fastball right there. It's a 98-mile-an-hour fastball, low part of the strike zone.
Two down. Are these the times, if assuming Garrett gets a quick out here, where you can walk toward the home plate area after the third out and ask, at least kind of put it in the mind of Mark Wegner?
Yeah, just go over, Mark, what do you think? I mean, are those pitches a little bit down? Maybe he's thinking they're inside. Just ask him just in a nice way, you think those pitches are down? And then if he says yes, then you just walk away. You're good with that. Then you know you have to make an adjustment as a pitcher yourself because he's not calling that pitch.
Right.
But you also, when you just say it in the right way, you might get that pitch because it is a strike. Now, don't go down to say right away, hey, man, they're strikes.
Right.
Just ask, for me, what do you think? Is that a strike? Is it a little bit low or is it a little bit inside? There's a ways to do it, which they will think themselves that maybe he wasn't right.
Andrews fouls it off 0-2. And Wegner's been consistent at least. Martin Perez is not getting those calls either. He's just not calling the bottom part of the zone. Elvis broke his bat. Pick up some new lumber. You almost have to force yourself to not get upset in those situations because you know you've got to live down there, especially for your movement.
Yeah, we talked about how the ground ball is so important for Garrett. You're going to get ground balls at the knees.
Ground ball back up the middle, a 2-out single for Elvis Andrus. Seeing eye single. Yet no clean 1-2-3 inning for Richards. It's the second time, too. Back-to-back innings. 2 outs and then a base hit.
A ground ball right back up the middle. Try to use his bare hand. And he looked right in the dugout. I'm sure somebody said something. Don't use that throwing hand. So valuable to this team.
Got to pay attention now to Andrus over at first base with 2 outs. Rougned Odor's the batter. Odor grounded out to Pujols his first at bat.
Perez has thrown out a little over 24% of would-be base stealers. But your mindset, if you're Garrett Richards and the Angels, is this man at the plate. He's got good power. Worries so much about the runner. Andrus can run. 15 stolen bases this season. But you got a guy at the plate with power.
Down it in. Halos up 2-0, scoring twice in the bottom of the third. C.J. Cron with a 2-out single.
.49 pitches for Garrett so far. 30 strikes. That was his curveball right there, just a little bit out of the strike zone.
Thrown 7 ground ball outs tonight, which is good. What you wanted. Two one downstairs. 3 balls, 1 strike. Joey Gallo on deck. Not a big lead at all for Elvis at first base. Now it's way outside. Second walk issued by Richards. Puts 2 men on now. Because Mike Butcher. Hit the reset button here. Kind of get back to what he did the first couple of batters. Gallo to start tonight in left field. 0 for 1. He had a fly ball to shallow center. Featherston out at shallow right. 3 infielders on the right side. Breaking pitch. Got the bottom part of the strike zone, but doesn't get the call.
It's been established that lower part of the strike zone is not going to be called. That was a breaking ball that crossed the front of the plate. Lower part of the strike zone right in the middle.
Big swing and a miss. Evens it count at 1-1. Gallo out of Bishop Gorman High School in Nevada. Played select ball with Bryce Harper as a kid. Swing and a miss.
Be a pretty fun lineup to go through with those two.
Good speed on the bases for Texas. 1-2 to Gallo. Outside. Odor was on. Almost looked like Odor was running between first and second. Elvis Andrus looking at him right now like, where are you going? If Pujols decides to even backpick over there, he's easily out.
Pujols playing extremely deep, though, in that first base position. That's a long run to the bag.
Pitch where you'd like to get Gallo right here. 2-2 as opposed to going to a 3-2 count and getting the runners a head start. That's a called strike 3. Down goes Gallo, and Richards is out of it. We'll head to the bottom of the 4th. Halo's still up.
Game ever played of wiffle ball? Go to omaze.com/wiffleball for your chance to join.
Bottom of the 4th inning. Halos up by the score of 2-0. They will have Freese, Victorino, and Perez here against Martin Perez, who's thrown 44 pitches, 4 hits, 2 runs, 1 strikeout, 1 walk. Clayton Kershaw should pitch on Monday. The schedule holds.
Boy, was he good the other day, completing that game. What do you have, 15 strikeouts?
Yeah.
You know, those toughest outs of the game, those last 3 to 6 outs, he went out and got some huge strikeouts against the Giants.
There's a perfect example where Martin Perez not getting that same call that Richards is not getting. So Freese ahead of the count of 2-0. This one pulled toward the hole, and Elvis Andrus picks it up on the backhand, and there's out number 1. Fans, the Angels host the Astros next Friday at 7:05, and fans in attendance will receive a Mike Trout Freedom shirt courtesy of State Farm while supplies last. Get your tickets today at the Angel Stadium ticket office, or you can buy them online. There's Shane Victorino, grounded out to short in the 2nd inning. Splits form against lefties. That's why no David Murphy, which it's easy to look at those numbers and kind of play that platoon, but Murphy's been swinging the bat so well of late.
Pretty good numbers against left-handed pitching also. He's had real good plate coverage of late.
There's David. It's at 300 this year against left-handed pitching, 293 against righties. There's a club option on his contract with a buyout for next season for Murph. Now we're missing low. 3 balls, no strikes. And there's a walk. The second one issued by Perez. And they bring up Carlos.
Number 50, Carlos Perez.
Carlos grounded out to Beltre his first time up. 0 for 1. He just didn't get a chance to see and talk with Johnny Giavotella today. He was in the dugout. Johnny's been on the 15-day disabled list, with was termed with a personal medical reason. And today we learned that it's called fourth nerve palsy in his eyes, where he was basically seeing double and looking down and to his left. That's why he hasn't been able to really get things going. As a matter of fact, if I remember correctly, Gooby, as the runner goes, and this one's rolled foul. That Sunday game, prior to the Sunday game against the Toronto Blue Jays, remember he missed a couple of games. Johnny, that is. He came out early, was at second base taking ground balls on that Sunday afternoon, Sunday morning. Ran out the outfield, but then he was determined that wasn't able to go.
Yeah, I got a chance to talk to him that day too. He was asking how he was feeling. He said he was feeling a little bit better. But usually when you see Johnny, he's just full of energy. You can see a little bit of difference right now for Johnny. He wants to be out there playing, but right now just unable to do so.
Slicing toward the seats, and it's 1-2. Try to imagine. I've never heard of that fourth nerve palsy before. I guess if you're seeing double, it could probably lead to a little vertigo, a little disorientation as well.
Well, you're never comfortable with at all.
At least it's good to see him in the dugout, hanging out with the guys. A lot of guys now.
Yeah, there's quite a few in there, yes.
Good lead for Victorino. 1-2 inside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Texas, no runs, 4 hits. They've stranded 5 so far. The Angels with 2 runs, 4 hits, have left 3 on base.
Bannister's wondering too. I was thinking the same thing, especially with Perez may throw a changeup right now. You can have Victorino on the move, and you sit that ball on the ground.
Fouled off. Got a fastball up and away. Full count. Houston ended up shutting out the Twins 8-0 tonight. The Angels needing a victory to stay 5.5 back in the West, and a win would also have them gain some ground on the Twins and the Rangers. Wild card. Twins ahead of the Angels. 3-2. Victorino goes, and it's ball 4. So back-to-back walks for Martin Perez with 1 out here the 4th inning.
Well, I was watching a few games of the day with Minnesota with Sano. Wow, what a talent he is.
Yeah.
That baseball just screams off the bat against him.
He hadn't gotten it going when he was here right after the All-Star break. But certainly a lot of talent. Missed all of last year with Tommy John surgery.
Buxton back up also with Minnesota. They have a ton of young talent. Yeah, kind of ahead of schedule. Paul Molitor has had them playing some solid baseball. That leadership of having Torrey Hunter around. back to my Hyundai key for this game. A little rock and roll point for the offense. Good swing, last at bat for Featherston, using that middle part of the field. A good swing so far against Perez. Have been middle to the other way. Big base hit by C.J. Cron to left center field also. Trying to add on to that run total.
Two on, one out. Featherston at the plate. Base hit up the middle. Last time up. First time up, should say. Victorino at second. Perez at first. No balls and a strike. TCU product. Sure he was happy with the win last night.
Close game against the Golden Gophers.
Back pick at second, ball off the glove of Odor, but stays close by. Taylor growing up in the Houston area and going to school at Fort Worth at TCU.
They ranked number 2 in the nation.
Be interesting to talk to both catchers after the game tonight. Asking them about the bottom part of that zone. Both guys have lived there tonight. Or tried to anyway.
That might have been in jeopardy tonight because I love the lower part of the strike zone, my sinking fastball and slider. And when you're a guy that lives in the lower part of the strike zone and the umpire is not calling you, try to make an adjustment, you have to. But if you live down in that lower part of the strike zone with a sinker or a changeup like Perez has, and you're forced up in the strike zone, that's when it becomes very hittable.
This one fouled off into the seats. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Back-to-back walks here with 1 out. Leadoff man and Calhoun on deck. 63 pitches now for Perez. 64th is over to second. Odor flips it to Andrews. Back to first. Inning-ending double play. The Angels leave a man on. We head to the 5th. Angels leading at 2-0. Charger. With an EPA estimated 31 highway miles per gallon, this car was made for driving in California. Visit Dodge.com. By AT&T Uverse, more live channels on the go than cable. And by the Acura It's That Kind of Summer event. Top of the fifth inning, here's the big 8-2-0. Angels on top. C.J. Cron with a two-out single in the third inning, scoring 2 runs. The only runs of this ball game so far. Texas setting up 9-1-2. Wilson to Shields and Chu against Garrett Richards. Bobby Wilson grounded out in the third inning. So he's 0 for 1. Breaking ball for a strike. This one pulled to the left side and a base hit for Wilson. Pitch that was elevated. So the leadoff man on board for Texas. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Los Angeles Angels and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Angels Baseball LP.
In that elevated fastball, even though it was 96, stays straighter upstairs. And Wilson able to hit that in the hole against Richards.
The Shields 1 for 2. Doubled in the first. Tries to bunt his way on, or at least sacrifice Wilson. The lineup popped out in the third.
And with his speed, you have to be aware of that if you're David Freese. Also, if you're Garrett Richards, to get off the mound quickly.
Two and 1. .61 pitches for Garrett. 36 have been strikes. Just 1 punch out, 2 walks. And now 5 hits allowed. Wilson with a very small lead at first. Back up the middle. Ivor has it, takes it himself, fires the first, low throw, dug out by Pujols, a 6-3 double play, 2 outs.
Great decision by Eric to take that himself. Even though Featherston has a good throwing arm, the momentum for you as a shortstop, he'll step on the base and then throw over to complete the double play, especially with the Shields running. Perfect decision. Good scoop, too, by Pujols to complete a 6-3 double play.
Base is clear for Shin-Soo Choo. Chu 1 for 2. He doubled in the third. 27th of the year. Napoli back with Texas. Part of the deal with the Red Sox. Not on the lineup today. Breaking pitch outside. 2 and 1.
Kind of surprised he's got good numbers against Richards, as we've seen when we talked about our go-tos in this game as far as ground ball outs. So far, 10 of them for Richards. And his W's average a little over 9 ground ball outs per game.
This one's out toward left center field, slicing back toward Victorino, and he got it! What a play by Shane Victorino. Third out here in the fifth.
some quality defense. Great read by Shane Victorino on the run, runs it down. Outstanding play by Victorino. Full extension. What a play. Great speed. Good read.
Fouls off the first one, beginning the bottom of the fifth inning. Calhoun trying to Pujols. Cole 0 for 2. A strikeout in the first inning. Reached on a fielder's choice in third. And he scored on the Crone single. That's a strike. 0-2. Oh, 2 on the way. Outside 1 and 2. That's a called strike 3. 1 down. At the inside corner. We'll bring up Trout. Hey, tomorrow MLB on Fox Sports 1 returns with another doubleheader filled with playoff implication as the Rays take on the Yankees, followed by the National League wildcard leading Pirates taking on the Central leading Cardinals. Coverage begins at 9:30 a.m. Pacific on Fox Sports 1 and streaming live on Fox Sports Go.
Well, the Yankees picked up a game on Toronto today. They won, Toronto lost. Get real interesting in that AL East.
Trout pulls one over to third. Reaching for that on speed. 2 down. Beltre's been busy tonight.
For the infielders in general on both sides.
Yeah, you're right. Been a good pitching matchup so far. Base is clear for Albert, is 0 for 1.
Same exact spot, both fastballs. Just off the inside corner. It means you would think he's going to try a changeup now. Turned over a little two-seam fastball.
Albert worked the 4-pitch walk in the third inning. Set up the Crone 2 RBI single. And he works the walk here again. That's the 4th one issued by Perez.
Here's the top tier play of the game brought to you by Arcos. Speaking of C.J. Crone, when he came up with the bases loaded after that walk, Albert Pujols got enough of the barrel of the bat. Base hit in the left center field, scoring the 2 runs of the game. C.J. Crone now 34 RBI in the season.
He will look at a strike. CJ came in batting .435 against the Rangers this year. 2 home runs, 12 runs batted in. Got 14 RBIs now. 1 for 2 tonight. CJ, a .290 hitter against left-handed pitching this season. Outfield straight around for Texas. This one's down the right field line, and it is slicing foul. Oh, pesky pole swing there.
That would have worked there.
Yeah. One and 2 as Pujols gets back to the bag. Beautiful night for baseball. 73 degrees at first pitch. Supposed to start heating up though going into next week. Get your red on week. All week long. One-two to Crone. Pops this one up. Long run for Odor, but this one a couple of rows deep. Nice play down there. Reaching forward with the glove. Good concentration. Well, we go from a great play to a not so great play.
No.
He might be blaming it on the steps. Because when in doubt, blame it on something.
You have to.
Even the rain. Crone drives one out toward right center field. DeShields a little bit of a late start. He's at the warning track. That's off the wall. Pujols chugging around third. He's going to score. Crone on his way to third. It's an RBI triple for the big man. 3-0 Angels.
Well, he continues to swing an amazingly hot bat against the Rangers. His 3rd RBI of the game. Changeup, he stayed back on that so well. Even in some of the swings hitting the ball to right field that were foul, this one high off the wall and by DeShields. Backed up by Gallo. C.J. Crone cruising in for a triple. His first of the season.
2nd career triple. He had one last year.
And he stole home the other day, by the way.
Yeah, that's right. 3 2-out RBIs for Crone tonight.
He's got 21 career RBIs in 22 games against the Rangers.
He's the guy that I meant as my pick to click, by the way.
I know you said Eric Crone, I think you said, right? Yes.
He's
He's riding that wave of the Utes last night.
Ibar 0 for 2 with a ground ball to third and a pop-up. He pulls this one over to third. Beltre's got it. Hitting over, the Angels tack on another run. C.J. Cron with 3 RBIs tonight. 3-0 Halos. Wednesday, 2 of the biggest names in the UFC will face off as coaches as interim featherweight champion Conor McGregor and Uriah Faber join an all-new season of The Ultimate Fighter. The mayhem begins Wednesday only on Fox Sports 1. Halos up 3-0 as we start the 6th.
Speaking of creating mayhem so far in this game, C.J. Cron with a couple really good swings, driving in 3, single and a triple.
Fielder, Beltre, and Moreland 3, 4, and 5 for the Rangers here in the 6th. 66 pitches thrown by Garrett. 1 strikeout, 2 walks, 5 hits allowed. Fielder 0 for 1 with a walk and a ground out. That's another pretty good pitch.
I mean, that's a lot of the strike zone. And that's not even low in the strike zone.
2 balls, no strikes. Almost becomes a guess as to where to throw the pitch. And there's a 4-pitch walk to start the 6th.
And that was actually in the strike zone. You see this pitch right here, according to our Fox tracks, that is in the strike zone at 96. Again, if you're Garrett, you can't let that affect you. Think in terms of another ground ball. You've done very well as far as getting ground ball outs.
Beltre 0 for 2. Still good velo for Richards, 96 on that last one. Still good movement as well. Saw it on that last pitch to Fielder. And he drives one out to left. Victorino is there, 1 out. Stay tuned later tonight in the post-game show for the business of sports, brought to you by AutoNation.com and powered by AutoNation's Scion, Buena Park. Moreland 1 for 2. Single back to second. Always has a leadoff man.
Good cut fastball there. In on the hands of Moreland.
In fact, just going back and mentioned that leadoff single for Moreland for the 6 innings. Richards has allowed that leadoff man to reach. Been able to put a stop to it. Double play at the last inning in the 5th. Down and in. That hit him. So it's a hit batter. 2 on and 1 out. An overthrown fastball there.
Right on the foot. In the stride. On the foot. Quick visit now for Mike Butcher out to Garrett Richards.
Elvis Andrus is the next batter up.
Andrus has always been a good hitter against the Angels. Coming in this game, a .309 career hitter.
Mark Wagner will make the walk out there. Just as he gets there, the meeting breaks up. Because pitching coaches have never been known to force an umpire to go out there just to do that.
Just to say, hey, where's some of these pitches at?
Not even to have the conversation, just to make him walk out to the mound and break up the meeting right before he gets there. Just so he has to walk back. That's been alleged. Andrus had a single his last time up. Good pitch.
That was a nasty slider. He was anticipating that first pitch fastball after a visit from a coach.
Not a home run hitter, but it's those type of at bats where he'll come up looking for something in,
especially
to try
inside,
to turn on.
No question, inside. When he falls behind in the count, later in the count, he's looking to hit the ball to right field.
1 ball, 1 strike.
Overthrown some of his pitches. That's an overthrown slider. Or similar to the overthrown fastball that hit Moreland on the foot.
There's a 1-1. That's a good breaking pitch. 1-2.
Andrus didn't like that call. That pitch got a lot of the inside corner. Got to be ready now if you're Cole out in right field. Likes to try to hit the ball to right field behind in the count.
Fielder, the base runner at second base, Moreland at first. The Angels with 2 runs in the 3rd, 1 in the 5th.
See that approach he's taking. He's just trying to punch that ball to right field. We'll have a conversation with Eric Ibar and Carlos Perez out with Richards at this point.
You don't want to do anything to speed up his bat. Slow breaking ball or anything like that that's up in the zone, because that can easily hook down the left field line for him. Especially when you get defensive swings such as the last 2 on fastballs away.
Yeah, if you go fastball away and down, that should be a perfect pitch.
Cole shallow and right. Up with a slider. Not a bad idea. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Two. Full count. Almost as if he's trying to make that perfect slider. Brooklyn Odor is the man on deck. And they're loaded up. Overthrown breaking pitch, second walk of the inning. That's the 4th walk of the game. So 2 walks and a hit batter here in the 6th.
The slider overthrown, slips out of his hand. .82 pitches thrown so far for Richards. 21 back in the 4th inning. Put you down to the calling down to the bullpen now.
Kind of went away from that fastball where he had Andrews on the defensive with those fastballs with 2 strikes. So now you've got the bases loaded. Brugman Odor at the plate. 0 for 1. He walked his last time up. 1-0. All of a sudden he's lost the strike zone. Fernando Salas getting ready now for the Angels. Derek came into this inning having just thrown 66 pitches. Two-0.
This comes a product now. You're starting to try to aim the fastball. Very difficult to throw it for a strike.
At this point, I mean, if there's a gift of a walk here, I think you've got to pull the shoot.
Yeah, I think Mike Scioscia probably will.
2-0. There's a strike, 2-1. You got to be careful with Odor, too. Sneaky pop. He's got 11 home runs, especially in a hitter's count such as this.
Yeah, when he's looking and geared up for a fastball, he's got real good power.
It's Fielder standing at third, Moreland at second, and Andrews at first base. 1 out here in the 6th. Two-one. Chases and he skies one down the left field line. Victorino moving over. Fielder looks like he wants to tag. He's tagging. Here comes the throw to the plate. It's cut off. Sac fly and a tag at second. Got him! And it may have occurred before the run scored. Nope, Mark Wegner saying that the run counts.
And Mike Scioscia wants to check that one out, though.
Yes, he will.
As Bannister may want to check out that play at second.
Right now, it's an inning-ending double play and a 3-1 Angels lead.
See if that tag, the slide, looks like he's going to get to that plate. Yes.
Wait a second. I don't know, buddy. I don't think he's on the plate. I don't think the leg touched the plate before the tag.
Well, we've seen some odd slides of late where you have the foot up in the air.
Mike Scioscia, he's coming out.
He wants to look at it.
Check it out. Yep, they are going to check this out here. Now we go back and show you that angle again. Great camera work as always here. But you see the leg of Fielder. I'm not sure it gets to the plate.
You would think at that point he should be in there.
But watch how the leg curls up. And there's no
that tag.
Now he's on the plate.
That is extremely close.
Ooh. Yeah, you're going to have to. Question is it definitive enough?
Man, we've seen some slides where you have that leg up and not through the plate a number of times.
Again, why are you even going into a slide at that point as a base runner? There's no play at the plate. The guy on deck should be telling you to stand up because the ball's been cut off. And especially in a two-out situation where you have a potential to have that run not count on a tag play.
See right here the tag. See if that leg. Quick tag. Still not quite on the plate.
He's not on the plate.
No. And the tag. Wow, that is real close. It could go. It could be overturned.
So we'll see what they decide here.
Play one way or another. That was a great play by Eric Ibar. What a throw. And a quick tag by Featherston.
Either way, it's the third out. There's no.
You'll take that in. You'll give up that one run.
Here it is again, guys.
Quick tag.
At the same time, he still hasn't touched the plate, and there it is. I mean, to me, there's separation there, but who knows? You know, it's got to be definitive enough in order for them to change the call. And the call in the field is by Mark Wagner is that the run scored prior to the tag happening, and that would have been it's a sac fly for Rougned Odor. And really, if you go back to it, Odor helping out Richards there, chasing a pitch up and out of the strike zone.
Exactly right. Either way, you feel pretty good about the way this inning ended anyhow, whether it's 3-1 or 3-0. Considering its bases loaded, Odor in a very good count.
Best case scenario for the Angels, they nullify the run. It's 3-0. Worst case, it's 3-1, and the Angels are coming to bat in the bottom of the sixth. That's why the Rangers have taken the field. But we're going to keep it here until they make a final decision here. No argument for Bannister on the tag play at second. And that was Moreland, by the way, that got tagged out for the third out.
And this will, you would assume, is going to take a pretty long time to make that decision. But what a play. Good throw by Eric. You know, when the ball was caught, when the ball got to Eric Ibar, you almost thought he might have had a shot throwing towards home, but that would have been a very difficult throw for Ibar to home plate.
The run counts, says the out is at second base. The call stands, so we're going to step away here. The Angels lead is now 3-1. David Freese swings at the first pitch, the bottom of the sixth inning. With the Angels up 3-1. Freese, Victorino, Perez. David 1 for 2. Doubled in his first at bat. That was in the second, his 18th double of the year. So the call stands, means there wasn't definitive enough evidence to overturn it. Odor gets an RBI. Good changeup from Perez there. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Gray skies one on the first base side. This one headed to the seats. And out of play. Odor went into that wall rather hard. Well, he was going full speed in that thing. There's no give on these walls here.
No, he wasn't real comfortable running back to his position either.
Called strike 3, and there's one in the bottom part of the strike zone that gets rung up to start the 6th inning. 3rd strikeout for Martin Perez. And here comes Victorino.
And that was a strike, there's no question about it. Wagner calls that one in the lower part of the strike zone. Has not been called a whole lot in this game, but that was definitely a strike. One of our Fox tracks.
Victorino for 1. Chopper to 3rd. 2 outs.
Number 50, Carlos Perez.
The changeup. That's 1-2. Carlos 0 for 1 with a ground down the walk. It's foul to the plate, and that got Bobby. Might have been a man zone violation there on that foul tip. So it's 1 ball, 2 strikes. One, 2. Over to 3rd, backhanded by Beltre. And another ground ball at Adrian Beltre at 3rd. A 1-2-3 inning for Martin Perez. Angels up 3-1 as we head to the 7th. To save you money. Log on to MercuryInsurance.com to get a fast free quote and see how much you can save. By the Palazzo, Las Vegas, where every key unlocks a suite. And by Hyundai, the Labor Day clearance event is going on now at your Hyundai dealer. Visit buyhyundai.com today. Top of the 7th, opening game of the homestand. The first of 3 against the Texas Rangers. That's Martin Perez coming off a 1-2-3 inning. Second time he's retired the side in order. The other was back in the first. Texas here in the 7th, setting up 8-9-1. Gallo, Wilson, and DeShields facing Garrett Richards. Had some command issues in the 6th inning, but got out of it. As Odor chased a pitch, it ended up being a sac fly. They got the third out on the play at second with Moreland off the bat. Gallo, the left fielder, takes upstairs. The Angels have action in their bullpen. Last inning it was Salas, but here it's Trevor Gott loosening. Gallo 0 for 2 with a fly ball to center and a strikeout. He takes a mammoth hack and fouls it back. He does not get cheated.
No, not at all, especially when he sees a fastball coming. 47 strikeouts in 92 at bats.
Two balls, one strike.
A lot of pitches upstairs and out of the strike zone. Last inning plus for Richards, especially with his fastball.
And a 3-1 count. Gallo this year in the minor leagues combined between AA, AAA, 23 home runs, 63 runs batted in. And he draws a walk nowhere near the zone. That might be it. That's the 5th walk issued by Garrett tonight. And, some of those pitches nowhere near the zone.
Here's the Cardinals Jr. Sports Update. Buccos try to stay alive at Busch and win that one. Pittsburgh wins 9-3 in St. Louis to cut that lead to 5.5. And Russell provides the muscle for the Cubs. Addison Russell hit 2 home runs, hitting the number 9 spot for the Cubs today. 2 home runs as the Chicago Cubs win that game 14-5 against Arizona.
Josh Hamilton gets introduced here. He's pinch hitting for Bobby Wilson. Mike Scioscia will make a move, and Trevor Gott will be brought in. So that's it for Garrett. Unfortunate for him, the last inning plus the way the command kind of left it, but we have ourselves a pitch change to the 7th. The Angels up 3-1. One batter and walks Gallo here to start the 7th inning. 5 hits, 5 walks, 1 strikeout. That is the 5th time in his career that he's issued 5 or more walks. Career high 7. That was back in 2013. It's our in and out who's in, who's out. Trevor Gott takes over on the mound here. Gott pitching in his 35th game. 2-2 record at 2.65 ERA. 34 innings at the major league level this year. 29 hits, 15 strikeouts, and 9 walks. He'll be facing Josh Hamilton, fresh off his 2nd stint on the disabled list. Hamilton pinch hitting here for Bobby Wilson. Josh hitting .259. This is his 40th game. There's 7 doubles, 6 home runs, 21 runs batted in. As a pinch hitter, he's 2 for 4 with 2 RBIs. There's nobody out here in the 7th, and Gallo's the base runner at first. Nobody warming up for the Angels, so it'll be Gott here in the 7th inning. Angels never had a lefty getting ready, just in case. Outfield straight around. Victorino shallow in left field. Here's Gott's first pitch upstairs, 1-0. Trevor last pitched in Monday's game against Oakland. 2/3 of an inning in that one. Gave up a hit, had 1 strikeout. And all Garrett could do now is just look on. One ball, 1 strike.
And a pretty good hack at that high fastball.
Little dribbler towards second base. Featherston has to come in. He only plays to first, 1 down. Gallo advances to second.
Real good movement on that 96-mile-an-hour fastball from Gott.
The speedy center fielder Delino DeShields coming up. DeShields 1 for 3 and a double off the glove of Freese in the 1st inning. Popped out in the 3rd and grounded into his first double play of the season in the 5th. 334 at-bats before grounding into his first double play. This one lifted out towards center. Playable for Trout. Gallo back to the bag, tagging, and then slams on the brakes. 2 outs.
Good decision by him to go back. Trout got behind that baseball very well, and a good throw to third base.
The Rangers have a right-hander getting ready now. Looks like Luke Jackson is that man. For the bottom of the 7th inning, Featherston, Calhoun, and Trout due up for the Angels. Fastball off the plate. Chu 1 for 3, doubled in the 3rd. And almost had his second double in the 5th inning, but Shane Victorino made a terrific catch to end the 5th. Robbing Chu that second extra base hit of the night. Lifted out toward left center field. Victorino and Trout both giving chase. Still going back as Victorino. It's off his glove. The run will score. Chu on his way to 3rd. And that'll go as an RBI triple. Victorino still down on the warning track. It's a 3-2 game. And Victorino went hard into that wall as the ball went off his body.
Well, he had to go a long way. Chu with a great power going the other way. Ooh, you hear that sound right off the wall. Backed up well by Trout to get it in as quick as possible.
Right off the heel of the glove.
And straight down after that collision with the wall.
Looks like so. She's going to take him out. Maybe not. Looked like he wanted to take him out.
Looked like it.
Yeah. He'll stick around. Chu gets credited with a triple, his third of the season. Picks up a 61st run batted in. And now it's just a one-run lead for the Angels. 3-2 here in the 7th. And Fielder coming up. That run gets charged to Garrett. There's the leadoff walk to Joey Gallo. Intentional walk coming with Beltre on deck. This will be the third walk that Fielder's picked up tonight. First intentional. Twelfth intentional walk of the season. And there's ball 4. So the tying run standing at third. Go ahead run now at first. And Beltre coming up. He's 0 for 3. Double play. Ground out. The fly ball to left. Ground ball to third base. Freeze has it, goes the short way, inning over. Texas adds a run. We hit stretch time here at the Big A, and the Angels maintaining a one-run lead. Experiences here at the Big A. All Access Angels gives fans a chance to bid on great experiences like Steel Third and honorary bat kit. For more info and to bid on these experiences, visit angels.com/access. A couple of changes for Texas here. They've got a new pitcher on the mound. His name is Luke Jackson, with the Angels leading at 3-2 as we begin the bottom of the 7th inning. Jackson seeing action for the first time in his major league career. 45th overall selection in 2010. He takes over from Martin Perez. Jackson will face 9-1-2. He'll also throw to a new catcher. Chris Jimenez takes over for Bobby Wilson.
Jackson has a fastball, 90 to 93 range, curveball, changeup.
Featherston fouls off the first pitch. Taylor 1 for 2 with a single and a double play ball. Luke Jackson, South Florida native, now 23 years of age. Pardon me, 24 years of age. Calvary Christian High School in Fort Lauderdale. Breaking ball low.
A big 12-6 break on his curveball. Also has a pretty solid changeup.
Fouled off. Jackson at AAA this year. Round Rock 2-3 and a 4.34 ERA. 39 games, 5 starts. Fastball. Short hops Jimenez. 2 balls, 2 strikes. That was 98.
The adrenaline going now. Major League debut.
Calhoun on deck, then Trout. Popped up on the first base side. This one seats behind the dugout. Jackson, the pitcher, was covering on the play. He ended up in the warning track.
He's got a little edge going at Major League debut.
That was a full sprint.
Still trying to breathe out on the mound at this point, too.
First round pick with first round hair. I'll tell you that.
No question.
Two upstairs. Full count. There's 3-2. This one's off the end of the bat. Odor out into the outfield grasses there. 1 down. So back to the top of the order now with Cole coming up.
See if Cole can jump on one of those first pitch fastballs.
Cole happy to see Martin Perez no longer in the game. Never looked comfortable at the plate against him. Did reach on a fielder's choice and scored around the third, but the other 2 times went down via the strikeout. Pretty good movement as well. That's 1 ball, no strikes.
First changeup we've seen from him. Seen some curveballs, but the fastball's been pretty solid. See if Cole can turn around one of these fastballs now in a good fastball count.
Fouled it back and off the glove. It's 2-1. Angels with 2 runs in the 3rd inning on the Crone 2 RBI single. A run in the 5th on the Crone RBI triple off the right center field wall. Texas with solo runs in the 6th and 7th innings. This is hit sharply toward the shift. It's Odor off balance throw and it pulls Moreland off the bag.
Always a different feel for an infielder when they're in that outfield grass area. Got to it quick enough. A little bit off balance as he's trying to jump up and make the throw from the grasses compared to sometimes seeing that from the dirt. He might have had more time to plant his foot and throw over.
Yeah, as I watched the replay, it almost looked as if he was maybe caught in between, either planting or jumping and throwing over to first base.
And different when you're on the infield dirt as compared to the outfield grass.
So man on for Trout. Mike 1 for 3 with a single and a run scored. It's one way to announce your presence with authority.
Oh, 96 up and in. Trout with 17 career home runs versus the Rangers. It's been a while for him to drive one out of the ballpark.
Two and 0. Halos have Joe Smith getting ready for the 8th. Quick throw to first. There's Joe. Came right after him. It's 2-1.
Just pulled off it slightly. That's his spot. Trout. That's a pitch he can drive out to dead center field.
Martin Perez tonight with 6 innings, 5 hits, 3 strikeouts, 4 walks, 3 runs, 3 earned. They had 2 starters tonight that looked like they threw a ton of strikes, and combined they walked 9 guys.
Surprising. They got a lot of ground ball outs between the 2 of them.
They got squeezed. Both guys got squeezed tonight in the lower part of the zone. There's the 2-1. Off speed outside. 3 balls and a strike.
Really slowed down his delivery as a hitter. You can read that it's something different. It's one thing he's going to have to try to figure out. He's got a good arm. There's no questioning that. You don't want to slow down your delivery to throw something off speed. Tips off that to the hitter.
(3-1). And he takes ball 4. So 2 on, 1 out. Pujols coming up. And here comes Maddox.
After making your debut and you have to face Trout and then followed by future Hall of Famer Albert Pujols.
Sam Freeman, the lefty, getting ready for Texas now. Jackson in his major league debuts thrown 16 pitches, 9 balls, 7 strikes. Let the leadoff man Featherston to pop out and give up the single to Calhoun to walk Trout. Maddox has completely massaged the message into Jackson here on the how to attack Albert Pujols. Albert 0 for 1.
A long conversation.
Yeah. Albert has walked twice and scored a run. Fastball for a strike. Odor shading Albert toward the middle. Moreland off the line at first. A 1-run lead for the Angels, looking to get some insurance runs here in the bottom of the 7th. Albert fouls it off. Pitch away.
Tried to pull that. He's got to stay back and think right center field.
Again, this one lifted down the line. Playable perhaps for Chu, and he's not going to get there. And the only pitch that Jackson has thrown inside was the wild one he threw to Trout up and in. Everything else, fastball-wise, has been away.
Well, Albert's trying to turn on that fastball, but it's away.
Yeah.
Barely got that end of the bat off the baseball. Now, if he could stay back and think in terms of right center field, especially when you see a lot of pitches now from a kid that you've never seen before. He's throwing a lot of pitches away.
Fastball, and this one flared out to right field. Chu broke back and has to come in. 2 outs.
Designated hitter, number 24, CJ Cardinals.
Jimenez out to pay yet another visit. C.J. Cron due up here. He's 2 for 3 tonight with 3 runs batted in. Second career triple in his last at bat. That was in the 5th. Calhoun still at second. Trout at first.
Real good speed on the bases. If he can split the alleys here again, should be able to score 2. He's already had a big game with 3 RBI.
Breaking pitch on the outside corner. Foul back.
That's a good swing. Fastball at 98 right down the middle. He fouled that one straight back.
That would be a lift and separation swing right there.
That baseball might have went a long, long way out. After a swing like that, you would assume he's going to see a breaking ball now.
Well, we've seen CJ kind of punch one to right field on those situations. Go fastball away. That's 1-2.
That's a pretty good pitch, though, for the youngster to go fastball away just off the outside corner.
Breaking pitch. Gets jammed, fouls it back. Goes up. Texas in the 8th inning has Moreland, Andrews, and Odor coming up. 5, 6, and 7. 24 pitches for the rookie in his major league debut. Here now the 25th. This is pulled foul. That is driven out to right center field, hit well. Nobody's going to get this one. One hops the fence. Calhoun in to score. Here comes Mike Trout. Another extra base hit for Cron. 2 more runs batted in. 5-2 Angels.
Well, we said he's had some great career numbers against the Rangers and some tremendous swings by C.J. Cron. Wow, he crushed that ball to right center field. It's a 97-mile-an-hour fastball. Stayed back on it well. The great extension off that wall in right center field. One hops it. And with that speed, like we said, it's going to bring home two huge runs.
Jackson is done here with 2 outs in the 7th. The Angels up 5-2. Remember, back on July 6th, he set a career high, or July 4th, I should say, with 6 RBIs. That was also against Texas. And all of the RBIs tonight with 2 outs.
This great approach is throughout the entire game for CJ.
Home run shy of the cycle now. Freeman takes over here for Jackson with 2 outs and a man at second.
Freeman with a good fastball from the left side here, 91-96 slider, very good changeup. It was about 30% of his pitches were changeups.
Freeman pitching in his 48th game, no record at 2.97 ERA, 32 strikeouts, but 22 walks in 33 1/3. Facing Eric Ibar, 0 for 3. He's grounded out twice and he's popped out once. In the dirt, blocked by Jimenez, and Cron will stay at second base. One ball, one strike. Angels have a couple of arms getting ready. Joe Smith already is loosened. Jose Alvarez getting ready now. Ibar hits one to short. Andrews has it. There's the third out, but out for the Angels. Strike for 2. And off the bat of C.J. Cron. We head to the 8th. It's 5-2 Halos.
Lead over Texas as we head into the 8th inning. Welcome back, everyone. Ken French with you. And don't forget, following this one, it's Angels Live postgame presented by your SoCal Mazda dealers. Myself, Jose Mota, Tim Salmon, and Jill Painter Lopez will bring you all the highlights and interviews from this one. And right after the postgame show, don't forget, it's a brand new edition of Angels Weekly. And this episode leads off with a boy from Millville, New Jersey, traveling to Southern California to receive the gift of sight and also a playdate with his hometown hero, Mike Trout. That and much more. Great stories on Angels Weekly following the postgame show. But now listen back inside to Victor and Mark for the 8th, guys.
Thanks a lot, Frenchie. Joe Smith on the mound for the Angels here in the 8th inning to face Moreland, Andrews, and Odor. Joe pitched in Wednesday's game through 17 pitches, went 1 inning, allowed an unearned run, 2 hits, and 2 strikeouts. They'll have a new third baseman as Caleb Cowher takes over at the hot corner for David Freese. Moreland tonight, 1 for 2. A single, a ground out, and was hit by a pitch. Smith pitching in his 60th game. Moreland skies one down the left field line. Into foul territory goes Shane Victorino, 1 away.
Well, he's been active out there in left field. Has made some outstanding plays and a great effort when he ran straight into the wall.
Shortstop, number 1, Elvis Andrews.
Elvis Andrews takes inside. Ranger shortstop is 1 for 2. Drew a walk in the 6th. Two and 1. Got to get the call there. Wegner's tight zone continues. Rugnan Odor on deck. And a walk.
Second baseman, number 12,
Seventh walk issued by the Angels tonight. One was intentional, and that was Gott to Fielder in the 7th. $12 total walks combined in this game. And Mark Wegner just won't give in on that lower part of the strike zone. That one misses outside. Odor 0 for 1. Sack fly in the 6th inning. And perhaps maybe the change in this game a little bit. This one's popped up. Albert coming down the line. 2 outs. Certainly made it look easy. But to go back to that 6th inning, that was a bases loaded 1-out situation with Odor at the plate. And Odor, with Richards already behind in the count, chasing a pitch up and out of the zone, hits one down the line. It's caught by Victorino for the 2nd out. And then, of course, it ends up being a double play with Moreland tagged out at second as Fielder scored. But it changed the inning. It changed the game a little bit right there.
That could have been a huge inning for the Rangers.
Gallo takes upstairs.
But a very good decision, Eric Ibar, to throw that quickly to second base to finish off that inning with no more damage.
And Trevor Gott in the 7th inning after giving up the RBI triple to draw the Rangers within 1. And after walking Fielder intentionally, got Beltre on the first pitch. It just bounced one over to third. Fielder's choice to end the inning. One ball, 2 strikes.
Going upstairs with a fastball against Gallo. Can't lay off that pitch. I wonder if he'll try to go a little bit higher. Though it's difficult when you throw from that arm angle for Joe Smith to consistently go upstairs with a fastball.
Goes slider, and it's a called strike 3. Inning over. 1 to the bottom of the 8th inning. Angels up 5-2. The game, tweet us your strongest fan photo to hashtag WestDataStrongFan for a chance to be featured in an upcoming broadcast, and it's brought to you by T-Mobile. It's the bottom of the 8th inning. Freeman is still on the mound for the Texas Rangers. Rally Monkey was out in full effect in the 7th. C.J. Cron has had a terrific game. 5 runs batted in. Everything coming with 2 outs. Freeman got Ibar to ground out to end the 7th. He stays in to face Freeze, Victorino, Perez. Pardon me, Coward. His first at bat. Coward taking over for Freeze last half inning.
Another good game for Freeze.
That is down the line. Foul, 0-2. Caleb hitting 200. 16th major league game. 2 doubles, a home run, 4 runs batted in. Upstairs. 1-2. Martin Perez 6 innings, gave up 3 runs. Jackson, the rookie, went 2/3 of an inning in his debut, gave up 2 runs on 2 hits. Now Freeman to try to finish this one off for Texas here. He's keep that bullpen fresh. Coward takes a called strike, 3, 1 down.
Painted the inside corner at 94.
So here comes Shane Victorino, the left fielder. Twice as grounded out and also picked up a walk. Now was in the 4th. Mentioned Houston to 1. They defeated the Minnesota Twins tonight, 8-0. The start of play today. As far as the wild card was concerned, the Yankees in the top spot. Texas had the 2nd spot. The Twins were a game and a half back, and the Angels 3.5 back. This was popped up toward the seats in that game.
We were talking about that a lot on the pregame show. And you think about what the Angels have ahead of them. You have 13 games combined against the Rangers and the Astros, and 4 against Minnesota. So how you play against those teams determines if you have a shot getting into the postseason.
And the way things played out for the Angels in the month of August, and I know you don't ever want to hear anybody say, well, we're just taking it one game at a time, because it's so cliche. But the Angels really shouldn't worry about anybody else right now other than the game at hand. They've got to take care of their own business. Forget about getting help. You've got to put yourself in a position to take care of your own business.
Yeah, don't even worry about looking at what the other teams are doing when you're trying to chase. You have games against those teams that are ahead of you. So you play well and win those games, teams that you have to try to chase down.
Back up the middle. Freeman falls down, but Odor's right there. 2 outs. Freeman just kind of slipped there on the mound. And here comes Carlos Perez. A win tonight for the Angels, and they would find themselves 2.5 back of Texas. He just slipped, right? There's that replay on that ball coming back up the middle.
Tried to reach back, twisted that knee. He tried to reach back with the glove.
Carlos takes low. Carlos 0 for 2. Twice he's grounded out. Beltre has also worked the walk. Texas in the 9th has 9-1-2 coming up. Houston streak getting ready. As it stands right now, it's Jimenez, DeShields, and Chu in the 9th.
Mike Napoli available on that bench for the Rangers.
And there's a 4-pitch walk. Keeps the inning alive for Featherston.
Second baseman, number 8, Taylor Featherston.
Taylor had a single back in the third inning. He's gone 1 for 3 tonight. The Angels came into this ball game having played all right baseball within the division, 30-24. The Rangers, the other way, they were 9 games under 500 against the West, 20-29. And, overall, have played much better baseball. They played well away from Globe Life Park in Arlington, 38-30.
And they used to have great numbers at home, tremendous numbers within the division.
Featherston goes down swinging, and we will head to the ninth. The Angels up by the score of 5-2. Set against the Texas Rangers. Houston Street takes over on the mound here. Pitched in Tuesday's game and threw 21 pitches. 52nd game, 3-2 record, a 2.73 ERA. Has 31 saves on the year. Looks like Will Venable will pinch hit here to lead off the ninth inning. So Venable, DeShields, and Chu. Sorry, good.
Yeah, Houston with 18 career saves against the Rangers.
Taylor's trying to kick off this homestand on a good note after going 4-5 on a just completed road trip, taking 2 of 3 from the Tigers, getting swept in Cleveland, and then taking 2 of 3 from the Oakland A's, trying to keep it rolling. And tonight it's been the Crone Show. 5 RBIs.
The pitching matchup tomorrow: Derek Holland versus Weaver. Colby Lewis versus Hector Santiago on Sunday.
Remember, tomorrow at 6:05 start. Angels Live will kick things off at 5:30. Venable, the former Padre. He will take outside. Will, with the Padres this year, hit .258, 6 home runs, 30 runs batted in. 12th game now with Texas. He's at .244. One ball, one strike.
Two teammates down in San Diego. What a game for C.J. Cron.
One would assume that he would be the post-game interview, but we'll see how this thing all plays out. Don't want to jump the gun.
Certainly has had a great game. 5 RBI, single, double, triple.
This one fouled off. 2 balls, 2 strikes. off speed and misses low. Full count. And he walked him. Leadoff man on. And here comes Delano DeShields.
Center fielder, number 7, Delano DeShields.
DeShields tonight 1 for 4, doubled back in the first. Good off-speed pitch, gets away from Perez. Venable stays at first. 0-2.
That was a great changeup. Great location.
Breaking ball. And it's 1-2. Last thing you want to do is start messing around here where you get deeper in this lineup. Chu on deck. You swung the bat well tonight. Then you've got fielder Beltre. One-two pitch. Shields hits one back up the middle. Snagged by Street. It's going to turn out to be a double play. So here's a kid who hasn't hit into a double play all season long. 334 at-bats, and tonight he's hit into 2.
And that one, it's hard to take as a hitter. You think you hit that ball well, right back up the middle with some sink on that. Houston Street fields his position very, very well. Reacted well to get that one. And then completes a double play over to Albert Pujols.
So 2 outs, bases clear, and here's Shin-Soo Choo, the right fielder. 2 for 4 with a double, a triple, and an RBI. 0-1. Oh for 4 in his career with a couple of strikeouts against Street. No balls, 2 strikes. Garrett Richards allowed 2 runs in his 6+ innings, 5 hits, 1 strikeout, 5 walks. And he is in line for his 13th win, matching last year's season totals. The 0-2, fouled off again.
Trying to sneak that 90-mile-an-hour fastball upstairs.
Speed. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Street's 1-2 on the way to 2. That's down in the dirt. 2 balls, 2 strikes. A leadoff walk and then a liner right to Houston Street. Turned it into a double play for 2 outs here in the ninth. This one hit towards second, past Featherston. A 3-hit game for Shin-Soo Choo. And it'll bring up fielder.
Keep in mind that great play by Victorino kept him away from a 4-hit game.
Fielder 0 for 1. 3 walks tonight and a ground down to Pujols. Now is back in the third inning. Chu will take off. Fielder takes down low. So Chu at second base on indifference. Both teams with 7 hits. Rangers have stranded 9. The Angels left 7 on base. This one's lifted on the third base side. Caleb Coward drifting into foul territory. Right dead baby up as the Angels take the opening game of the series. 5-2 the final tonight.
So important to play so well. CJ Cron, what a monster game he had tonight. Single, double, triple, 5 RBI. Houston Street picks up his 32nd save of the season. Garrett Richards picks up his 13th victory. Well played defensively tonight also by the Angels. Good play by Eric Ibar in a double play ball. Also good plays out there by Shane Victorino out in left field.
Garrett Richards picks up his 13th win of the season, and command a little bit of an issue for him tonight with 5 walks, but overall it doesn't matter. You pick up win number 13.
Boy, he had great stuff.